Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Uncle P. Welcome to Cha-Ching Friday. It's Sunday. Anyway, here's the deal. I got a very important video for you guys today. You really need to pay attention to me. I'm going to help you not to lose money this week, okay? That's more important. I'm going to help you not lose money this week. So make sure that you listen to this entire video from beginning to end, because if you don't, I promise you, you're probably going to lose some money this week in the markets, okay? But before we do that, let's go ahead and get to our typical thing, which is going over the numbers from last week in the signal service, and then I'm going to go over some very important news events that you need to know before placing any trades this week. This, to be honest with you guys, if there was ever a week that I like to take off and just say, you know what, the heck with it, this is not the best week to be trading, or I'll let Ms. Jenny or Mr. Elvis take the lead and just do their thing like they normally do, this would actually be the week. And by the time I get done doing the news event roll for this week, you're going to see exactly why. This is a very dangerous week. The entire world will be on standby for this week's news announcements. Let's go ahead and begin with the numbers first from last week. Right here, this is the signal service. Last week, we did a phenomenal job. Mr. Elvis, congrats to you. Miss Jenny, congrats to you. Okay, here's the deal. We had 9 wins, only 1 loss, which was actually mine. To be honest with you guys, I had that loss on the CAD Swiss. Actually, I'm sorry, there was 2 losses. 2. Let me change this to a loss. There was 2 losses. Both of these came in because of news event spikes, okay? And so I want to be very clear and transparent, so there we go. So there was a news event spike that happened on the CAD, and then there was a news event spike that happened on the GBP Euro pairs, which if you were trading them, you've seen the market just spiked on the Euros. And so we got hit, but other than that, it was a pretty good week. So we was 9-2, just being transparent, 9-2. And Mr. Elvis did all 9 wins. He had 0 losses. So I'm very proud of you, Mr. Elvis. Congrats, major respect to you, sir. And Miss Jenny, as always, is rocking and rolling. They had over 5,000 pips in the scalping group, which basically they trade the indices and gold and stuff like that. So either way it goes, it was a phenomenal week. There was one, they're still holding 2 trades over the weekend, so we'll see how those play out, okay? Now, let's move on to the next thing. So again, if you want to join the signal service, here it is right here. The information is on our website as well. Go to superezforex.com. and you'll be able to just click right on to the join the signal service button and join right in. Okay, let's get it rocking and rolling. All right, so now let's go here for this week's coming events. This is my FX book. This is the desktop app. I like the mobile app better, but there's other website services out there such as Forex Factory and investment.com, investing.com, and blah blah blah. There's a plethora. Look at me using a big word, plethora. There's a plethora of other ones out there that you can actually use. So go ahead and research and do the ones that you like. This is the one I like. Pretty consistent and good with information. One of the reasons why I like them is because of this feature. So now I'm on the home button. I can click on economic calendar. Okay. I go down here and you'll see that it's pulling up all the news events. Okay, right here, right? But what I like about it is because, and I knew what was coming, and if this ever pops up, just click right here to go to the next thing. See, you can click on all the news events for this week, but you also have the option to click on all the news events for next week. So not only will you be well informed before you place trades on this week, but also next week. But let's click on this week, okay? This week is going to be crazy. I'm telling you ahead of time. It is going to be a crazy week, especially going up until, when is this? Wednesday, okay? I'm telling you ahead of time. Now, listen, my students who come to class who purchase the Super Easy Simplicity System, you know, the classes are free. You don't pay for any classes. You just come right in. You join whenever you want to. The classes are recorded. But for the last several weeks, have we not been on fire because of these Sunday lectures? I told you guys by me combining the signals result and giving you guys the heads up on news events is helping people save a lot of money you would have lost in the Forex market because of not knowing these things. And even if you did trade during those sessions, you knew, okay, it could go either way, so I'm not going to go full force on my position, and you use wisdom with trading, because no matter, even if with these news events, without them, sometimes you're just gonna, sometimes news is still gonna hit the markets, and they may not be scheduled events, so you don't know why it happened, what happened, but at least you know, okay, this is, a ballpark idea of what's going on in the markets, and economically using fundamentals, which means news events and stuff like that, what is happening to help me understand why I lost that trade. Was it my fault, or was it just some news events? And this last couple of weeks have been straight crazy. Oh my God, volatility is everywhere. And if you're brand new and don't know what volatility is, it means the markets are very inconsistent. They're wild. They're wilding out. Okay, that's what it actually means. So this week is going to be the mother of all wild outs. Okay, because all the other news events have been leading up to this week. Okay, so pay attention. I'm delaying to go over them just yet, because I'm hoping while I'm doing this and explaining the criteria and why the storm is forming, when we go through this list of events, I hope you already have by now, which anybody who's been watching my videos, you know for sure. Don't ever, let me make this big and plain. Don't ever watch my videos without something to write down on Sundays. Okay, whenever you tune into my videos, you should always have a pen and paper so that I can give you the information you need, so that when you get it, you'll know how to use it and how to help save yourself some money. You want to know how to improve your winning percentage? Stop trading so freaking much during bad news events. Duh. Okay? Stop trading so much during bad news events, okay? Now, can you avoid all of them? No, you can't. You will incur some losses. That's just natural in this business, okay? But you can reduce your losses by avoiding trading during these bad sessions, okay? All right, now back to this. Here we go. Number one, right. On, what is it? Monday. So let's scroll down. Okay, and this is how I look at it. So you can see the dates. See, this is Sunday. Okay, and then here's Monday. And they'll start listing these out, the different news events. Okay, now I'm just going to make sure I wrote mine down, because I did this kidding the next week's tab. That was last week. So I just want to make sure this stuff is still on there. Okay, so here it is, JPY. Okay, if you're trading the JPY, their core inflation rate. Now, this is important because every pair that has announced inflation rates, core inflation rates, you've seen that they're not only core inflation, but also the YOY, it stands for year over year. Last year versus this year, okay? So when this is announced, you notice, which is why we lost on the Euro JPY, GBP, is because they had announced their core inflation rate numbers. And I waited like normal, wait until after the news event passed, and it spiked up huge, expected to pull back. No, that thing kept on going. Here's the reason why, though, because it's indicating that if their inflation rates keep going up, their government is going to have to raise the interest rates. Okay, so if the inflation numbers are high, expect their government to try to curtail that by raising interest rates. When they raise those interest rates, that means that currency is going to gain in value. That's what it means. So that's the reason why I kept on going. So if you were trading the euro last week and you got hit, that's the reason why, okay? It's telling the government you need to do something about this, and typically what are they going to do? Raise interest rates. What does that do to the value of that currency? Raise its value, okay? That's why. So the JPY has been in a terrible downspin. It has been spiraling like junk. I mean, it's just been dropping like garbage, right? That's the reason why all the pairs that were against the JPY have been shooting to the moon. NZD, JPY. AUD, JPY, Swiss, JPY, CAD, JPY, USD, JPY, all of the Euro, JPY, they have been going through the moon, while the JPY itself has been going in the trash. That may change if this announcement comes out and they say the inflation is high. Then the government may have no choice but to then step in and rescue their currency, and you'll see a huge swing huge swing in the markets when it comes to the JPY. So just be aware of that, okay? Next one is CAD. CAD is coming out on Tuesday. So here you have Monday. Let's scroll down to Tuesday. Now, as you can see, there's many different news events, but I'm paying attention to certain ones. And what's cool about it, if you sign up for our Simplicity system, it's a one-time fee. The classes are free. All the resources are free. You only pay one time. No monthly after that. The Signal service is a monthly service. If you want that, that's a completely different service. But for the Simplicity, it's just a one-time fee. Now, here's what comes with it, which is going to help you. Some of you guys don't have a clue what these news events are about, and that's okay. We give you a sheet that will have the news events that we typically pay attention to so that you'll have that. Now, you don't have to even know what these news events mean, but before you place a trade and you glance at the calendar, all you have to do is glance at the sheet, glance at the calendar. If you see it on the sheet and you see it coming up on the calendar, even if you don't have a clue what it means, it just means don't trade that pair. That's all you have to do. Just don't trade that pair on that day. It's just that simple. If it's on our sheet and it's on this calendar on that day, just don't trade it. That'll help you avoid losses, okay? Let's go to this. Same exact thing that I explained about the JPY coming up with their core inflation rates and their year-over-year inflation rates. Okay, this can signal whether the government will step in and do what? Raise their interest rates. And if they do raise their interest rates, what does that mean? That currency may go to the moon. Okay, so that just be careful if you're trading the CAD on Tuesday. Okay, next. Here's the mother of all mothers. This is the big kahuna. Now, of course, you have the housing starts, all that stuff ain't gonna mean much. I'm telling you ahead of time. Hold on. Uncle P is telling you ahead of time. Ahead of time. Please, freaking please, expect the market to go to a slowdown period leading, the closer it gets to Wednesday, the slower the market is going to become. So if you're one of those new retail traders who's always trying to demand that the market speeds up just to keep up with what you want out of it, this is not the week to be pulling that foolishness. I will repeat, this is not the week to pull that foolishness, because the market globally is going to be impacted by what Fed Chairman Powell says on Wednesday. What is he going to be saying? And this is what all these crazy markets have been leading to, is to this one event. That is on Wednesday, the Feds are going to be coming out announcing what their decision is for the U.S. markets interest rates, which I believe, and you can write this down, I've heard many have said this, and even including in the stock market, they expect the Feds to be extremely aggressive, so they may raise it by 75 basis points or 1% or 100 basis points. That means if you're trying to buy a house, you're going to pay a whole nother interest point. So if you were at 6.75, it's going to jump to 7.75. Get what I'm saying? Just add another whole interest rate to whatever you're paying. You get what I'm saying? They use this basis point thing. That sounds real sexy. But for you average people like myself who want to buy a car, want to buy a house, that just means your interest rate is going to go up further and further. Okay? All right? That's what it means. But because the U.S. currency is accepted worldwide, the entire globe is going to be paying attention to this news event. The stock market, the bond markets, you name it, anything that's tradable, all of that. The housing market. Why do you think the housing market is starting to slow down and crash? It's not because people don't want to buy a house. It's because of the announcement like this. The Fed's raising interest rate. People don't want to pay more interest on something they could have bought a year ago at half the interest rate. Why do you think I locked in on this house deal I did myself? I bought this house sight unseen. I didn't care. I knew the interest rate. The interest rate. So I'm more than thrilled that I locked in when I did, because every time they keep announcing because of inflation, the more inflation keeps existing, the more the Fed's going to keep raising interest rates. That's going to affect everything. Supply chains, your grocery bills, your gas bills, your clothing, housing. Why do you think your rents went up? Because of this announcement. And every time your landlord has to pay more interest, they raise your rent to offset it. Every time they raise these interest rates, the lender comes to you. You understand? This is why this is important. Even if you don't even trade in Forex, it doesn't matter. This information is important because now you begin to understand how the dots connect and how these major institutions are raising your costs. You keep getting these letters saying, oh, we're going to have to raise your costs. Oh, your energy bill is going up in cost. All these things. And you're like, what the heck is going on? This is why. Whenever the feds raise interest rates, which means companies have to pay more in interest to get loans from the government or whatever, guess what? They pass that cost over to you. This market is going to go nuts. I promise you, as sure as my name is Uncle P, I guarantee this market is going to go crazy on Wednesday. You're going to see it for yourself, okay? Unless, for some God-forsaken reason, they come out and say, you know what, man, I think we're going to leave the interest rates alone. But even if they do that, the market is really going to go crazy. No matter what, I expect fireworks on Wednesday, okay? Now, if it doesn't happen, praise God, that'll be great. But I'm just telling you, expect a slowdown in the markets because the markets are not the institutions. Let me just say it like this. Truth be told, I wouldn't be surprised if the market didn't move a whole lot all the way up until Wednesday. But I know Tuesday, expect it to barely move, okay, at all, across the globe, no matter what you're trading. So this is why I said this is one of those times where if you're not a professional trader, you need to just hang back and let the fireworks do its thing. And then on next week, because I'm not even done with the announcements, but I'm just telling you, this is the mother of all that's coming on Wednesday. Are you with me? So if you're new to trading, this is the time to trade only in demo or just observe the market itself. And you'll learn why Uncle P says what he says. You'll learn why people who bought the Simplicity system, why we gave you a news calendar, so you'll just know what day, what times and days, and just, it ain't good to trade. It's not a tradable market. This is going to be one of them. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Let's get back to it. All right, next, let's scoot on down to Wednesday. No, I'm sorry, on Thursday. Okay, on Thursday, here's what I'm paying attention to. Long as they haven't changed it. Let me see. I'm looking for the Swiss. Okay, see this? Wednesday. Fed interest rates. Okay. Fed interest rate announcement. That's going to be a doozy. Woo-wee! That's going to be something else. Fireworks. Fireworks. Okay. Let's go down to Thursday. Now, remember I told you guys the most sneakiest pair to trade, unless you're a trend trader, and I will say this. If you like trading the trend, the Swiss would probably be your best bet. The Swiss is a very consistent trend trading pair. It respects the trend very, very nicely. If you're a reversal trader, it's going to drive you nuts. Okay? So if you're trying to trade highs and lows to reverse, leave the Swiss alone for the most part because it just doesn't act right. Okay? And it's going to happen. You're going to see some good setups, and then sometimes it just doesn't respect it. Okay, like we had a loss on CAD Swiss last week. That was the only two losses: Euro GBP and then CAD Swiss. So the Swiss, sometimes it will show some very good setups, and it will do pullbacks and then shoot right back up, back into a trend. So pay attention to that. But on Wednesday, on Thursday, as you can see, they have their interest rate announcement. Okay, so pay attention to that when you're trading. All right, let's go to the next thing. GBP. See, you see what I'm telling you? This is a dangerous week. Don't fool around. Look at this. The GBP is making their what? Interest rate announcements. When? Thursday. Okay, now let's go to the next one. And here's the deal. This is why, get the education, whether you stay long or not. Join the Signal Service and get this education on how to be a professional scalper. This is the best time to be a scalper, in my opinion. Okay, this is the best time to be a scalper or a person who jumps in and jumps out of trades. Okay, let me show you this for a minute. We'll come back to this. We're almost done, but let me show you this. Critically important. A lot of you guys who join us, you get frustrated and say, "Well, why are you closing out the trade so early?" Why? Look at this. 9 wins. Okay, 9 wins. And why is that? Closed out early in profit. Closed out early in profit. Closed out early in profit. You see all these? Closed out early in profit. One of them, oops, I didn't mean to do that. Let me hit this back button to correct that. Okay, the first one was held over the weekend and it hit take profit. But a lot of these closed early in profit, closed early in profit, closed early in profit. And didn't put this one in, hold on. Why? Because when you're dealing with markets like this, you cannot just expect that the market is just going to always hit your TP. Okay? Because it's so choppy, you just got to jump in and get out. Jump in and get out. You can set a take profit and a stop loss, but if you see that market is choppy, your responsibility with using wisdom is to get in, get out, get in and get out. So if you don't like that, then I don't even know why you're here, because you can't expect the market to respect what you want. The market is its own beast. It's the leader. Okay? And so if it's choppy, then you have to trade accordingly. You can't just sit there and expect it to hit all your TPs. So a lot of times, yes, the trades are closed out early in profit. That's the reason why we do it. Because if you're going to be in a very, very shaky market like this, it makes exactly no sense at all to try to hold a trade, hoping that it hits your TP. You already made some money on it, but you want to be greedy, or you want to show off to your friends. Look how many times, look at my green history where it hit my TP. Look at my green history where it hit my TP. It ain't gonna always do that in these kind of choppy markets. So a lot of times, that's the reason why we will send out an alert. After we send out the signal, we may send you out a follow-up alert to say, hey, close the trade now. Take your profit, take your money and run. Do you see the difference? This is why a lot of you guys are not making money. You don't go with the flow of the market. The market is the determiner, not your projections of what you want. Well, I'm still waiting for it to hit my TP, and then the thing shoots back the other way and knocks you out. Now you're pissed. You were making money, but now because you wanted to be foolish, it went the other way, knocked you out, and you're pissed beyond measure. Well, whose fault was that? You understand what I'm saying? So again, this is why if you join the signal service, just keep your alerts on. That's all you have to do. We'll let you know if we need to close the trade out early or not. Why? Because this is the stuff that y'all not paying attention to that professional traders do. So they're not worried about trying to show off to people how many times they hit green, my history of green TPs. Okay, well, if that's what you're after, go ahead and do you, but expect that over time, you're probably not going to make any money in this business, because you have to be flexible with when the market is being flexible. The market is just constantly chopping in and out. Then when these news events are over, it settles down and calms down. And then it gets back into a consistent groove, and you can expect to do those TPs hit. But in the meantime, you're here to make money. Don't forget that. You're here to make money, not to show off. So if you're in profit and you know you're in a choppy market, take the money. Okay? So again, that's the benefit. So I would suggest join the signal service, learn the scalping techniques from Miss Jenny, because they're making great profits, have been consistent all year long, making profits. Mr. Elvis has been sending out some great signals all week. I'm telling you, it's the best thing for me, okay? Because those two losses, I'm being honest, because I'm a swing trader, they swung against me. But they're the ones who, we each have a different technique, okay? We have a different technique. Jenny's a scalper, Mr. Elvis is more of a day trader, but he knows how to get in and out quickly. And me, I'm more of a swing trader. I like holding my trades, but holding them sometimes during choppy markets like this, it's just not the right thing to do. Right? So this is why when I come to choppy markets like this, I really don't trade a whole lot myself. I lean more towards what they're doing and follow their lead. Do you see how that works? Because my style of trading is not going to always be conducive to what the market wants to do. And this is one of those weeks where my style of trading, as far as being a swing trader, it is not a good deal. Not a good deal. This market is going to be far too fireworks. And I'm not even done with the news events. Let's go ahead and finish up. Let's go to, we left off on the Swiss, right? Okay, Swiss is coming out, we left out on GBP coming out with their interest rates. Now, on Thursday, we also have the US, we're on Thursday. Now, I don't expect this to be that big of a deal as far as, moving the market or moving the needle, because the Feds have already come out with their interest rate announcement, but just being aware that this is going to be here. Jobless claim numbers, but again, I don't expect a lot of fireworks off of it, because they did this last month and the month before, and there was some fireworks abnormally, but all of that was leading up to tell the Feds what kind of rate they should be raising it to. But since they're going to be making that announcement on Wednesday, I don't expect a whole lot out of this, but you just need to be aware, okay? Last but not least is manufacturing on Friday. See, Friday is here. The manufacturing numbers are going to be coming out for the U.S. I'm sorry, they have them for the other countries, but because the U.S. is a global, that's the reason why I'm paying a little more attention to those, okay? Retail numbers. But again, it's really not that big of a fireworks because the big fireworks have already taken place, which is when the Feds make their interest rate announcements, okay? So anyway, I hope this video was helpful. I hope that you enjoyed it. Please let me know what you thought about the video. Shoot me an email. And by the way, let me say this real quick before I close this. I don't have the comments turned on my videos anymore because I got sick and tired of the real scammers. As soon as I put out a video, the first thing they do is they'll have one comment come out. Oh yeah, I love your video and I love your information and I was just thinking about this and that, and then another, and it's like an automated thing that they do. I don't know how they do it, but what happens is a moment later, another person will have a comment and they'll say, yeah, and the crypto market is doing fine. I have nothing to do with what I'm talking about. Then there's a quick third comment and then it says, yeah, and that's why I like trading with so and so. And then they have another comment that comes out, yeah, and if you guys want to, and see, it's just a scam thing that they use on these people's videos. I was watching a video this morning from on wholesaling, okay? Wholesaling for large institutions, how to get manufacturers on board, how to hire manufacturers for products and stuff like that. Just something completely different. Manufacturing and production. Guess what? Those people were on that dude's channel and blew it up with all these quick comments. And they feed it in slow. They don't just say, hey, I want to just scam you. They just make it seem like they're people making conversations amongst each other, and it all leads to the same thing. So I got tired of that on every video I did. The first 17 comments is all from these scamming people. I got tired of that. I didn't like it. So that's why I turned off my comments. It's not that I don't want to hear from you guys. That's what's going on, and I just got tired of constantly have to block them and this and that. They recreate it, and somehow they just keep doing it over and over again. So how I would like to hear from you guys is to email us directly at superezforex@gmail.com. I really want to hear what you guys have to say, whether you like my videos or not. Please hit the like and subscribe button so that when I'm doing videos, you'll know about it. But that's the reason why, okay? And I really would appreciate it. For all my students, you know I love you. This is Uncle P, and I will see you on next.